Your pipeline looks massive, but revenue is rather flat. That's probably because you're hoarding zombie deals. These are deals that probably died about 3 months ago, but sales is too afraid to close them out. Today, I'm going to show you an automation that will help you achieve pipeline hygiene, so your forecast actually reflects reality, not wishful thinking. My name is Jasper. I'm a certified HubSpot consultant, and I help businesses with issues like this. Let me share my screen and show you exactly how you can resolve this. So first of all, I want to show you one of the default properties that we have in HubSpot. So when we go to deals, when we go look at the deal properties here, you can see that there is a property that says time in current stage. When we look at this is the time this object has spent in the current pipeline stage. This is one of the things we will be working with. There's also an optional one that we can look at, and that is average deal owner duration in current stage. So this shows us the time duration of the calculated average for closed-won deals, how much time was spent in the current pipeline stage. So if we want to do some comparison there and want to check, for example, does this deal spend double the time than the average for this specific sales rep? That's something we can check as well. For this video, I'll keep it a bit simple, but just know that that's a property that's there as well. Now, the first thing we want to do is we want to build some logic there. We have a couple of options to handle this. For example, we can work with a workflow, and that's what I'll show you in this case, where we'll send an alert to the sales rep, and then if no action is taken still, we'll change the deal to not be part of the forecast. I will also alert the sales manager as well. And then in the second part of the video, I'll also show you how we can make sure that this is visually represented in our sales pipeline, so you can get a clear overview of any deals that are affected. So first, let's go to automation and then workflows. And here we're going to create a new workflow from scratch. We're going to go to Met Filter Criteria, and we're going to go to Deal. Here we're going to go to the deal properties, and we're going to look for that time in current stage property. So you can make a difference between the different pipeline stages and how long a deal can actually be in a stage there. So for example, let's say when a deal is in one of the first stages, so let's say the discovery stages, it can take at most 14 days in a single stage. I think that's already a little bit long, like a field deals should move faster, but for the sake of this demo, let's do it like that. So then we're going to go to the deal stage. In this case, I'm going to look at my sales pipeline, and let's say, so one of the first stages here is appointment scheduled and needs identified and presentation scheduled. Let's say if it's one of those 3 stages and it spends more than 14 days in that stage, then we want to trigger this workflow. We're also going to enable re-enrollment. So that means that when it goes to the next stage and it again spends more than 14 days in that stage, it will be re-enrolled in this workflow. So this one we'll call internal, and I'll say like check for stalled deals. We'll save this. And now we can get to work. So as soon as it hits that 14 days, we want to send a notification to the sales rep. Or even better, we can create a task for them. So we'll create a task here. So we'll call this update or close stalled deal. We'll make that a to-do. We'll make sure that they do that within 3 days. And this is going to be a high priority task, and it's going to be for the deal owner. So we'll save that task. And for this first stage, that's where we're going to leave it. So we're going to put that task there, and then we're going to add a delay for a certain amount of time. So let's say in this case, if a deal hits 45 days, that it stays in the same stage, then it becomes a pretty big issue, right? So at that point, we want to make sure that it's no longer part of our forecast. So we'll say here, we'll add 31 days, so basically a month after those first 14 days. So that gets us at 45 days. And then if we actually make it through that time and nothing has changed, at that point, I want to make sure that I send a notification to our sales manager. So right now, this is a demo account, so I only have myself in here. So I'm just going to pretend that I'm the sales manager here. We're going to do a little alert triangle, and we're going to say stalled deal alert. And then we're going to use the deal name. Or actually, it's already here, so that makes it easy. We'll do following deal has been in its current stage for over 45 days. And then we'll say deal. This is where we're going to do the deal name. Going to say company. And here we'll do the company name. We'll also add the amount for the deal. And then we're also going to add the deal owner. So then we have the data that we need here in our notification. And then next, we're also going to update this deal to make sure that it doesn't become part of our forecast. So we'll go to forecast category and we're going to change this to not forecasted. Now, we do want to make sure that if anything changes in the meantime, so while we're in this delay here, basically, that the deal actually gets unenrolled from this workflow so that this part doesn't happen if the deal actually moves forward after that first notification. Now, to do this, we'll click on our trigger here at the top, then we go to settings, and then here we have unenroll if deal meets the following conditions. So here again, we're going to look at that current stage. So we're going to say time in current stage is less than, and since we enrolled them at 14 days, we can basically do like anything that's less than 14 days here, because the moment it moves to a new stage, that clock will reset. So I can do something like less than 10 days here. So basically when it becomes like 1 hour again, since it just moved, that will make sure that the deal unenrolls at that time. So we'll save this. Okay, this is Jasper from the future. As I was like building this workflow, I did notice that instead of more than 14 days, I selected less than 40 days. So this obviously needs to be is greater than 14 days. And so I'm going to change that right here, and then this will stay the same. So yeah, time in current stage has to be is greater than 14 days, not as less than 14 days. Sorry about that. And now our workflow here is ready. So for a quick overview, HubSpot will check these deals in the backend for you without you needing to go through the manual process each day, each week, or whatever your cadence is there. And it will automatically check whenever a deal is in one of these stages right here, and it spends more than 14 days in that specific stage, we will create a task for the deal owner to either update or close the stalled deal. Then we build in a delay of 31 days. So basically the sales rep has 31 days to take action on this. If no action has been taken in those 31 days, we will send an alert to the sales manager with all of the information for the deal. So the deal name, the company name, the amount, and the deal owner. You can of course like add other things like a deal stage, for example, but they will always be able to click when they get that alert. They will be able to click through to that specific deal so they can look at all of the details there. And then once we send that notification, we will also change the forecasting category for that specific deal to not forecasted. Now, before we get to the visual part here, forecasting is the number one stressor for sales leadership. So if you want my guide on the 5 stages of deal rot, grab the HubSpot Excellence newsletter, link in the description. And if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more HubSpot Excellence. And now I'll show you how we can make sure that we also visually represent any of these stalled deals in our sales pipeline. So I'm just going to leave this off for now because this is a demo account and I have a lot of stalled deals in here. Things don't really tend to move forward in this account. But now we want to go to our settings. Then we go to objects. We'll go to deals. Here we'll go to pipelines. And then in the pipeline, we're going to click on deal tags. And here we're going to click on manage deal tags. So here we can see we already have one deal tag, also a very important one for your organization probably. And that's at the economic buyer when the economic buyer is missing. So the one that we're going to do now is we're going to create a new deal tag from scratch. And we're going to call this one, and I'm also going to give this like a nice emoji. We're going to do this alert emoji. And then we're going to say stalled deal. For a color, we'll pick yellow in this case. I'm going to do this for all pipelines. And we're going to say this deal has been stuck in the current stage for a long time. Please update or close this deal. Then we're going to go to our filters. We're going to use that same property for the current stage. So time in current stage, going to say is greater than 14 days. And we're also going to make sure that we filter out any closed deals. So we're going to say is not equal to true. So this makes sure that the deal tag is not popping up for any closed won or closed lost deals. Then we're going to say review the tag. Here we can see our entire setup. We're going to save this. We're going to wait for a moment for the system to refresh. Okay, now we're going to look at our deal pipeline. So we'll go to deals. And now you can see that we have some stalled deals in here. Now, to fix this, we can just say like, okay, we looked at this deal and it can actually move forward to decision maker bought in. Usually can take a minute for the tags to update. So now we can see that the stalled deal label has disappeared from this specific deal. Now, the results of this process is that you probably have a dashboard showing you your forecast for the coming quarter or for the current year. And with this specific system in place, we can make sure that any deals that are marked as not forecasted, and I hope you're already using forecasting labels, that they are omitted from this report. So you actually start working with accurate data and that your reporting also represents reality, not any deals that sales is dreaming that still will close one day. So it will give you a way more accurate picture to work with and to report to the C-suite as well. Cleaning the pipeline is often emotional work, and by creating an automation like this, we basically just take the emotion out of it, because sales reps hold on to deals like security blankets, if you will. And if you need an external expert to audit your pipeline and implement these governance rules, reach out to me. I'll leave my details in the description of this video. My name is Jasper. I'm a certified HubSpot consultant, and I would be more than happy to help your business towards HubSpot excellence. See you in the next one. Bye.